I saw a good article about the shipping families of Greece. After World War II, America had to make all these ships. They're called Liberty ships. Liberty ships. To ship stuff from America to Europe, to Russia, to everywhere, so that they could send all their resources to Western Europe and the Allies to defeat the Nazis. Now, after World War II, the Liberty ships, there was like thousands of Liberty ships that they didn't need anymore. There was not that much demand anymore, right? They cost $2 million to build, $43 million in 2024. Holy shit. But, which is relatively cheap, I think, in comparison to like the ships that are made now. So like all these ships were made, and then there's this one picture somewhere of like mothballed. Here you go. Look at this photo of just all these Liberty ships that were just mothballed, which means not used anymore. They're like a junkyard, right? All these ships were not needed anymore. So the US government was like trying to give them away for free, basically. And there was a couple Greek families that were either already in production, already in the shipping niche, in the shipping industry, or especially because there were some families that did their shipping stuff in the Ottoman Empire. Like they were a shipping family during the Ottoman Empire. Especially from islands like Chios, I think it was. They were a big shipping island, right? Now, these families who had some money, had some experience in shipping, they're like, I'm going to get loans and buy a bunch of these Liberty ships, right? Now, something to consider. Everything you buy, this shirt, this watch, this water, probably, this phone, all the parts to this phone, all the parts to this laptop, everything we buy came on a ship. So somewhere it was assembled and it was on another ship, on another ship, on another ship. The world runs on ships, right? And if I was to bet, if I was a betting man, and I'm not really, but I do like educated guesses, most of the shit you're wearing and using at some point was on a ship owned by a Greek person, one of the 12 Greek shipping families. So this is their history. They bought these Liberty ships from the Americans for very cheap and started using them to build their fleets. Now, there were many huge things happening at this time in the world. One, World War II ended, so everyone needed to rebuild their bloody country because it was bombed to shit, right? So they needed things to be shipped around the world more than ever. There was this little thing that was found in the Middle East called oil, and the world needed it more than ever. And the best way to get that shit anywhere is either a pipeline or a ship. Now, oil tankers were barely even invented. Some of the first people to use and have oil carriers were Greek shipping families, like Aristotle Onassis. Now, most of his ships at the start were just whaling ships in bloody Chile, right? But now it's like, oh, I can sign a deal with Saudi Arabia to be one of the biggest, if not the biggest, oil ship owner in the world. And he did. And that's how he became the richest man in the world. Saudi Arabian oil deals. So he had these oil tankers. Now, at the same time, another revolution is happening. During World War II and all of shipping history before, how would you move, I don't know, 500 tons of potatoes? You put them in sacks and you put them in a big net and you carry the net over into the ship. It's not organized, it's not compact, it's not scalable. However, they invented something called the 20-foot shipping container and the 40-foot shipping container and refrigerated shipping containers. And I know these containers very well, very intimately, because I bloody emptied about 100,000 of them when I had to empty shipping containers as a kid, when I was young. Now, the standardization of shipping containers made it much more scalable and easier to ship stuff. So these Liberty ships were refitted, or new ships were created and developed at the same time, and shipping blew up. It became massive. And these 12 Greek families became the Golden Greeks, right? That's literally what they were called. They were famous, especially Onassis and Niarchos, and I think Latsis and some other names, right? Now, let's speed forward from post-World War II to now, or to 2021. Greece still has the biggest merchant fleet in the world because, again, Greek shipping families using flags of convenience, which means flags where like wages and stuff are better for you and taxes, right? The Greek shipping families, essentially in 2021, Russia got sanctioned because of the war in Ukraine. The Greek shipping families still move the oil and resources of Russia to and from Russia. Morally, not great. because they are the West, they are in NATO, they should be helping, right? If the NATO is doing that, they should be helping. In other words, what this Forbes article talks about is Russia is able to compete. Russia is able to, in the war, is able to continue the war because they're still surviving, because they're still selling oil and gas, because of these 12 Greek shipping families, who's part of the West. But I know that sounds bad, and it is bad. However, you need to consider Greece's position in the world, in the geopolitical world. Now, ever since we joined the EU, everyone has always considered Greece as undeniably Western. And we are Western. We are European, sure. But in Greece, as a perspective, as a Greek, we have a mixed perspective of East-West and our loyalties to the West. Firstly, we owe nothing to the West, right? We don't. Culturally, financially, we pay our debts, if you believe it. We actually do. Like, it's not like the West is doing us any favors by giving us loans, right? Because, like, just from a financial standpoint, Greece could not have existed from 1821, from 1770s, with Mavro Michali from Areopoli starting the rebellion. They got funds, loans, from Philhellenes, Greeks and Greek friends in the West, mainly Germany, France, England, right? The Troika. To fund guns, ammunition, food, etc. for the war. Then we got even more loans in World War One and the Balkan Wars and the First World War and the Second World War and the EU. We always got loans from the West. That's the only reason we exist. But it wasn't for free. They're loans. We have to pay interest on them. The people taking these loans, giving these loans out to Greece, is making a shit ton of money. It's profiteering, right? Now, am I happy we got the loans so that we can exist? Yeah, okay. But I'm not going to beg on the floor and say how great the West is, right? The Troika is. Because they also instilled austerity measures on Greece, which sucked for 15 years now. So, yes, they helped at a price. That's called capitalism. We don't owe you anything on top of that. Now, the hardships that Greeks suffered over the last 100 years, Ukraine never helped. Ukraine didn't exist. But Russia helped. The Orlov Rebellion, Catherine the Great, Peter the Great, always pro-Greece, helping Greeks and anti-Ottoman. When Cyprus was invaded in 74, who helped us? Or who helped Cyprus? Nobody. Not the Ukrainians, not the Arabs, not the West, not the Turks, obviously. Nobody. So it appears when Greece or Cyprus is in trouble, no one helps. No one's putting sanctions on anybody because, well, Turkey was a NATO ally. So it's like, in what position is Greece in to fully oblige their, not just government and military, but also private citizens, shipping family owners, to do what they want? I don't know. I don't know that answer. I'm asked. I believe that's just a question we should ask, right? So like these Forbes videos vilifying the Greek shipping families, it's like you're vilifying them for doing exactly what all of the Americans, Germans, French, and English rich people do as well. It's just easier to vilify Greeks because we're that dirty Eastern country on the periphery of Europe. And I wish I was making some, being dramatic, but just look at the history of the Western view of Greece, the Western view of the East Roman Empire, of the Byzantine Empire. They always called us like, they're just profiteering, they're just doing this, they're money hungry, greedy, they're bad with finances. This stereotype goes on for over 1,500 years. From Western Roman Empire, from Holy Roman Empire to now. Just look, if you want to look at how the West has seen Greeks from then to now, go and look at the diplomats' visits from Holy Roman Empire, France, anywhere in the West, any Roman, East Roman, Western European kingdom to Constantinople. And you'll see most Roman emperors will treat them like kings, and they'll be like, they're just money hungry, they have so much money, they're being greedy, they should share their wealth with the West. The Roman emperors are fucking hairy pig. Like, they're insane. They're fucking insane. And the stereotype goes on to this day. So, thanks for that, Forbes. Big help there. But that's the thing. My question is, sure, they're helping Russia. Well, they're not helping Russia. They're just doing business. But so are you. When Germany was making money, being the best manufacturing company in the manufacturing heart of Europe for 20 years, because they had the profit margins from paying for very cheap Russian gas, no one was saying shit. But Greek shipping owners to make money now from shipping Russian gas and oil, it's a major issue. All I'm saying is, I'm not saying I'm pro this, I'm pro that in this statement. All I'm saying is hypocrisy, right? Let me know what you think.